What's going on, ladies and gents? Mike the Machine here. We're going to talk about strength part freaking 3. While I'm still basking in the sun, getting some rays on these dang chesticles right here. Right? See if we can make these pop. Oh, look at that crap. You can even the broke. There's a broke one. Look, still moves. Hell yeah, it's my pec pump of love, baby. Ah, outstanding. So we're out in the holler still talking. We're talking about strength part 3. First part talked about saying no. Second part of strength talk was simply believing in yourself, having strength of character, not following the sheep, not following the cattle. Don't be like the rest of the herd. Stand for yourself. Bow when the sheep will stand. Stand when the sheep will bow. Now we're going to talk about physical strength. Not in a bodybuilding contest, because again, I must repeat this always. I am not a bodybuilder. Yes, does it take a lot of crap to do bodybuilding? Does it take discipline, willpower, all that kind of stuff, along with all the extra enhanced chemicals they take? Yes. Are they athletes? Fudge no. Not athletic whatsoever. My thing is, I'm a tactical athlete. That's what I claim. Per Jeff Martone, former kettlebell king, tactical athlete, grandmaster. I am a tactical athlete, former salty wrestler. End of story. Period. However, we're going to talk about strength. So, in a strength context, C-O-N-T-E-X freaking T, it is said to build strength, your rep ranges, some say 3 to 6, others say 4 to 8, or 3 to 8. Some also say 5 to 7. So there's your rep range, right? You know, if you have any kind of knowledge on strength training, you know the 5x5 system. Never did it, never applied it, can't speak on it. What I am going to tell you is how I was there. I'll put the video somewhere over here, wherever I don't know how to do that stuff yet. I'm still learning this process, but the video will be somewhere in the screen, right? Of when I pulled 695, my top end deadlift at 198 pound body weight. And I'm going to tell you how I did that. So strength, physical strength is a must. As I said before, when you're a freaking wimp ass, sissy, puss cake, negative Nancy, Sally syndrome induced, subverted, feminized freaking ladyboy, you will be conquered, dominated, and you'll follow the rest of the herd. When you have physical strength, you have the ability to not only say no verbally, but to stand your ground with your foundation. And if you add skill set, hard skills on top of that, you then become a little dangerous to the average puss cake that's in society. So, strength will only carry you so far, because if you get another guy that knows what he's doing, doesn't mean you can fight. But I don't want to get off on the thing about combatives. Strength. How do we build strength? When I did the 695 pound pull, I trained by doing 3x3. 3 sets, 3 reps, twice a week. That's 1, 2, right? 2. I would do it on Monday and I would do it on Thursday typically. Or it could be a Tuesday and a Friday. It varied. It depends on what works for you, because when you go that heavy, you will get pretty wrecked. I don't believe in overtraining kind of crap. I don't believe in that at all, because I train every freaking day now, and that's just the way I schedule my programming. I'm allowed to. I can do that, but this isn't about my training. We'll cover that another time. My current training, anyway. I did 3x3. So what I would do is I would get a weight of deadlifting weight that I could do 3 reps with, and I would pull that 3 times. I would then take typically 2 minutes, not a minute, because you got to let your system recover, because you're doing a max load. You're probably playing with around 80% of your max, not 60 or 70, 80%. So you know what that is? You take 80% of what your 1 rep max is, you multiply 80%, 0.80 times your max, and that'll give you the figure of what weight you should be technically working with. So, at least I think I remember my conversion. That might not be right, but I'm pretty confident it's not divided, it's multiplied. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, hey, you know what I mean? I got a couple screws loose on this, go to hellhead. I think my conversion is correct. Multiply 0.80 times your max, and that's gonna be your working weight for 3x3. So I would do 3x3 on that one day, take a minute to 2 minutes break, usually 2 minutes, unless I felt good. I could usually tell by how my body felt, and I'd smash that son of a gun again, boom, smash it again. Now, here's the kicker. I would not go up every week. It varied, because you're gonna feel, sometimes you're just not gonna have the energy. Now, it also depends on what you do for a job. I have the blessing of busting my ass and working all the time to be able to own my own business, so I can train when I want to train. Some of you may not have that luxury. So back when I was in the I'm actually a concrete man by trade. Back when I was in New England, before I lived on the mountain, where I live now, in the sticks of Kentucky, I used to do concrete work. That's my trade. So I would go to lift after doing concrete work all day. Some days you're gonna be tired, not as strong. So I would go by how I feel. I would usually try to pull that 3x3 the 2 days that week, and then the 2 days the next week with the same weight before I increased. If I increased the weight, it was usually a 5 or 10 pound jump. It would depend on how smooth the pull went. And I just kept doing that back and forth, over and over, rinse and repeat. And that's how I got the strongest ever was. So on a conventional deadlift, I'll put that video somewhere over here too. I'll put those 2 videos in here. I did 645 for a triple. It was a grinder. You can tell because I'm grinding, but I got it at 198 body weight. Then the 695 was from a top end, meaning that you step out of the rack, the weight's already up at your waist, you go down with you, stand back up with it. It's called a top end lift, made popular by Bob Peoples, who's one of the most famous deadlifters ever. 3x3, it works. So if you want to apply that, whether this will carry over to your squats, your bench presses, your dips, your pull-ups, the whole 9 yards. Strength is important. But when you're going to do this, don't play around with all those other exercises. Some of you guys, I don't know about the gals, because my gals listen to everything I tell them, but the guys, sometimes they stray and don't follow the plan I put in place. Some of you want to add in extra stuff, right? When I was deadlifting all the time, I didn't add in extra stuff because I was getting plenty of work. My goal, my mission was focused on that pull. I wanted to kill it and get the best pull I could get. I wasn't worried about doing accessories. If I did accessories, it was typically pull-ups for the back, maybe pullovers, but mainly it was pull-ups. And I didn't try to kill myself on it, you understand? Because my main focus was that one exercise. That was the meat of the program, you understand what I mean? So when you're trying to build strength, that's what worked for me. I have never done any other things that had the same carryover as the 3x3 system. 3x3 system I did not make up. There's a book by Bob Peoples. It was a little pamphlet book that, hell, this is horrible. I can't remember his name. Shoot, he's a great guy. Damn it. Anyway, you can find the book. Shoot, he has a large catalog of old school strength training material. Bill or Bob, I can't remember his last name. That's horrible. Anyway, you can find the book. It's like red and gray. It's in black and white on the inside with the pictures, but that's where I got a 3x3 system by. It freaking works. So if you want to get strong, try that. Physical strength is a must for you to be able to not be conquered and become a sheeple, a sissy, a freaking yellow streak down your back, wimp puss cake. You understand? Where have all the men gone? Get rid of the dad bods. Put your damn beer down. Put your gosh dang freaking nachos and Cheetos laying back when your old lady is in there fixing your meal. Get off your freaking onion, meaning your ass. Get up and help that sweetheart in the kitchen. You understand? Learn to cook. Learn to help her. She ain't your mama. You need to be on her titty. You understand what I'm saying? We need some men that are built like freaking men. You understand? Because the sissy wimps ain't going to be the ones that are protecting the freaking children and the old ladies and the freaking hotties and the heavy hotties. That's an overweight broad. Heavy hotties. When the freaking shit hits the fan situation, it'll be hard-charging, salty, older fellas like myself. So let's go. Bring manhood back. Masculinity is the freaking way to go. Strength always wins. On your freaking day. Ciao.